Hi, this is Robert from the Manhattan Wood Project. I'm getting ready to enter a period of garage overhaul. As you can see behind me, my garage is kind of cluttered. This is just a little bit, and this is actually a cleaner section. So I wouldn't say it's not safe to work here, but I definitely wouldn't let anybody else work here under my insurance. So I need to do a lot of work to clean this up, and I have a lot of plans. Now, some of the plans I've been thinking about, I've been wanting to do immediately, but I haven't been able to afford it because I can't afford nice enough wood to build some nice shelves or anything like that. But what I'm thinking is that I've been procrastinating too long. Brian Gidney at the Summers Woodworking, his 2x4 contest kind of inspired me to see what else I could do with 2x4s. So while I was at Home Depot today, I got 4 2x4s, which by the way were perfectly straight, no bowing or anything in the whole stack. I don't know where those 2x4s were a couple weeks ago, but damn it, Home Depot, should have brought them in for the contest. Anyways, I digress. I'm going to see what I can do with the 2x4s to try and clean up this shop, even if it's temporary cleaning. So one of my ideas was to start making a bunch of French cleats. I have quite a bit of scrap plywood, some 1/2 inch, some 3/4 inch, and it's not good plywood. It's not the kind of stuff I would use for a tabletop, but it's good enough to drill a hole through, mount to the top of a piece of 2x4 for a French cleat, and hang some chisels in, or some lathe chisels, or screwdrivers, or who knows what. So I'm going to start doing some hopefully quick, cheap projects to make the garage look a little better until I can start building stuff like a cart for my chop saw. The first step I took to get this garage overhaul started was to build a better camera frame. Now, to hold my cameras, I've been using a tripod, which is nice, except the legs are either really close together and the whole thing falls over if you look at it wrong, or the legs are wide apart, which in this garage, in this condition, no, that's not going to work. So my second option for holding a camera was this. A piece of plywood with this on here so that I can go up and down and hold the camera here, which that's good, except I can only get some angles on here without having to completely turn this around. So that was a good temporary step for the last couple months, but now I've built somewhat of a more permanent camera mounting system. Let me show you how it works. Now it's a little bit too late to enter this into the 2x4 contest because I'm just finishing it up on June 1st, but this is effectively made out of a 2x4. This is my new camera mount. Now, first part is a little block of wood, kind of shaped like a C, screwed to the ceiling. And then you have the main pole right here. You have this threaded rod with a handle glued onto it. That piece right up there, the little U piece, is glued on, and the threaded rod just helps to provide tension to keep the whole thing from shaking back and forth a lot. Coming down, you have basically a bunch of assemblies here. 3/4 inch dowel, some little handmade knobs, and this will tighten, loosen, make it so that I can move the assembly back and forth like this. Now it's pretty tight fit right here, but for now that's fine with me. Moving over, another one here. I have some dowel up on top and below so that if I want to put the camera up high, I can put it up a couple inches higher just by swapping that. Moving on over, another joint, and then a nice long dowel, which I can position the camera mount on above or below the piece above. So I can actually put the camera about a foot above the whole assembly. Plus, after I drill a couple more holes in this main mount here, this main bar, I'll be able to move everything up just by taking this apart and moving it up that way. Now the camera assembly, this goes back and forth like that. This, you loosen that up so that you can take the camera and move it up and down like this. So if I wanted to zoom in on the lathe, I could get this camera as low as I can take it, which is about 6 inches or so lower, and then angle it down and you'll have a good view of the lathe. So the whole reason I did this is because this whole assembly will basically give me about 30-inch reach on either side of that main upright bar of where I can put my camera. Say I want to take a picture of me working on the workbench, all I have to do is do something like this. Do that, angle the camera down, and now I see me beating on something on the workbench. If I want to zoom in or get closer to my chop saw, I can straighten the whole assembly out as such. And now I'm a lot closer to the chop saw. Now, most of this is pretty easily. I did it with T-nuts and 1/4-inch bolts. I use carriage bolts that have little square pieces right before the threads, and then just pounded these through so that the square would engage with the wood and basically lock it in there. So it won't stand up to a whole lot of pressure, but it shouldn't have to. Now the camera mount, the way I did that, let me take this off here. I thought this was a little unique. So I basically made the same thing, a little handle with the bolt stuck through it. But then up here, I drilled a hole, and it looks like it's kind of fuzzy. But I drilled a hole, put a nut down into it, screwed the bolt up through it, and I put some thread lock in it. So this will take and spin and spin and spin all I want it to, and it will not come out. And all it takes is just 2 turns. It'll engage with the hole on the bottom of the camera here, which this is a broken camera, but it'll engage with the hole in the camera, and there you go. I took some video while I was making this camera mounting system. There's not much there. It's me drilling, using the chop saw, using the bandsaw, and the table saw. So not much. If you want, if enough people ask, I will show you videos of me using the drill and the bandsaw. But I think most of this is pretty self-explanatory. The whole cost of that camera system was about $10 or $15 if you count the cost of the carriage bolts and the T-nuts, some of which I already had. Expanding the camera mount system is going to be really easy. I can take a link out, I can make another link and put it in. I'm kind of worried about weight on the far end of the arm if I extend it out all the way. But I can basically mount it anywhere I want. All I have to do is build more of these C-mounts to go on the ceiling. This system will hopefully allow me to make videos a lot quicker, a lot easier. It'll let me get some stuff out of my way, and it was the first step on my journey of trying to use 2x4s and cheap materials that I already have on hand to clean up this god-awful mess. I'm going to turn this garage workshop into something that people won't be scared to walk into. So appreciate it if you follow along with me by hitting the subscribe button, which I'm going to put up here or down here, maybe down here, I don't know. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. If you have any comments, suggestions, ideas for different mounting systems that can be made out of 2x4s, let me know. Leave them in the comments below. I love any kind of feedback. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next project.